So now we are taking some numericals on first chapter, and the first question is, what is percentage of free SO3? Percentage of free SO3 in 109% fuming sulfuric acid. Fuming sulfuric acid. Very important question. Options will be 9%. The second one is 18%. Third one is 26.6%. And fourth one is 40%. Then our answer should be 40%. How? As we know, sulfuric acid is formed by combination of H2O with SO3. We will get H2SO4. And a substance can never be greater than 100% pure. So weight of water will be 9 gram. From this equation, when water is 80 gram, then SO3 is 80 gram. For 1 gram, it will be 80 by 80. And for 9 gram we have to find, it comes out to be 40%. Next question, what is percentage purity of SO3? Percentage purity of H2SO4? Fuming. If free SO3 is 26.6%. 26.6%. In this case, options are 106%, 109%, 126.6%, and fourth one is 100%. Same way we can proceed. H2O plus SO3 gives H2SO4. We have to find out the weight percentage of water first. For 80 gram of SO3, weight of water will be 18 gram. For 1 gram it will be 18 by 80. And for 26.6 gram we can find it comes out to be 6. So percentage purity will be 106%. These two are very important questions generally asked in competitive exams. Next question I am taking. What is the percentage of carbon and hydrogen in a compound (2 gram of it on burning produce 2.2 gram of CO2 and 0.9 gram of H2. 0.9 gram of H2. From Liebig's method, we know carbon percentage will be equal to 12 by 44 into weight of CO2 formed over weight of organic compound into 100. So it will be 12 by 44 into 2.2 over 2 into 100. And that comes out to be 30%. Now hydrogen percentage, it will be 2/18 into 0.9 over 2 into 100, and that comes out to be 5%. Next question, if 5 gram of an organic compound in Dumas method produce 280 ml of nitrogen gas at STP, then what is percentage of nitrogen in this compound? Percentage of nitrogen in this compound. As according to Dumas method, we know nitrogen percentage will be equal to 28/22400 into volume of nitrogen at STP into 100 over weight of organic compound. So it comes out to 28/22400 into volume of nitrogen is 280, weight of organic compound is 5 into 100. On simplification, will be 0.8 means 7%. Sorry, 70%. Next, if 2 gram of organic compound in ZL method produce ammonia and ammonia produce reacts with 50 ml 0.2 molar H2SO4 and excess of acid is neutralized by reacting with 20 ml 0.2 molar NaOH. Then what is percentage of nitrogen? What is percentage of nitrogen in this compound? As we know, formula used will be nitrogen percentage will be equal to 1.4 into basicity of the acid into molarity of the acid into volume of acid used for ammonia over weight of organic compound. But here total volume of H2SO4 is 50 ml. Total volume of H2SO4 is 50 ml. Molarity is 0.2 molar. So volume of H2SO4 used for NaOH can be found out by use of molarity equation M1V1 over X1, that is equal to M2V2 over X2. On one side I can write down H2SO4, on other side I can write down NaOH. Molarity of H2SO4 is 0.2. Volume need to be found, coefficient will be 1. For NaOH, molarity is 0.2, volume is 20 ml, and coefficient will be 2 in balanced equation. 2 NaOH plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4 plus H2O. From it, volume will be 10 ml. So, volume for ammonia will be 40 ml. Now, putting these values in this formula, nitrogen percentage is equal to 1.4 into basicity is 2, molarity is 0.2, volume is 40 ml over 2. As weight of organic compound is 2 gram, 2 is cancelled with 2, and that comes out to be 1.4 into 8, and that should be equal to 9.2%. Sorry, 11.2%. Next, you have to find out the percentage of sulfur. Find out the percentage of sulfur. Find out percentage of sulfur if 2 gram of compound produces 2.33 gram of barium sulfate. 2.33 gram of barium sulfate by a suitable method. Here formula used will be sulfur percentage is equal to 32 over 233 into weight of barium sulfate over weight of organic compound into 100, and that will be 32 over 233 into 2.33 over 2 into 100, and that comes out to be 16%. Next numerical, what is percentage of phosphorus in 2 gram of a compound if it produces 1.11 gram of magnesium pyrophosphate by suitable method. Magnesium pyrophosphate by a suitable method. Here formula will be phosphorus percentage is equal to 62 over 222 into weight of magnesium pyrophosphate over weight of organic compound into 100, and that will be 62 over 222 into 1.11 over 2 into 100, and that comes out to be 31%. Sorry, that should be 62 over 4, 15.5%. Next, calculate the percentage of chlorine in 5 gram of a compound. Percentage of chlorine in 5 gram of compound if it produces 14.35 gram of AgCl by a suitable method. Here formula used will be chlorine percentage is equal to 35.5 over 143.5 into weight of AgCl precipitate over weight of Orme compound into 100, and the answer will be 35.5 over 143.5 into 14.35 over 5 into 100, and that will be 355 over 5. It means 71%. We can do the quantitative analysis on this basis of all full compounds. Next numerical I am taking, what is percentage mass and normality and molarity of per hydrol solution if it has 10 volume strength. As we know, 10 volume means 1 liter of H2O2 will produce 10 liter of oxygen gas. So relation will be number volume is equal to 5.6 into normality. Number volume is equal to 5.6 into normality. Number volume is 10 over 5.6, that is equal to normality. So it will be 25 over 14, and that might be 1.79 normal. Now we have to find out the molarity. Lesson will be number volume is equal to 11.2 into molarity. So molarity will be equal to 10 over 11.2, and that comes out to be 25 over 28, and that should be 0.89 molar. Now we have to find out the percentage strength. For this, the formula used will be weight percentage is equal to 70 into number volume over 56. 17 into 10 over 56. So it will be 170 over 56, or 85 over 28. That should be 3.04% approximately. Next topic we are going to discuss, that is the titration. Titration is a basic technique to find out the molarity and strength of a substance by adding a known volume of titrant from the burette. The substance which is taken in burette, that is known as titrant, into a fixed volume of analyte. Analyte is taken in the titration flask in presence of an indicator, that is known as titration. And basically the titration can be of 4 types. The first one is acid-base titration. acid base titration. Second one is redox titration. Third one is precipitation titration. Precipitation titration. And the fourth one will be complexometric titration. Complexometric titration. The first two are in our practical exam of 11th and 12th. Now, next term we have to discuss, that is endpoint. Endpoint. Endpoint is the point at which the indicator shows a clear color. That is known as endpoint. Next, we have to discuss about equivalence point. Equivalence point. Equivalence point is that point at which milli-equivalent of one substance or one reagent are equal to milli-equivalent of other substance. That is known as equivalence point. Now we have to discuss about indicators. Basically, the indicators are the salt of weak acid, weak organic acids, and weak organic base. Weak organic base. For acid-base titration, generally we use two indicators. The first one is phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein. It is a phthalate dye and it has a pH range 8 to 10. pH range 8 to 10. So it can never be used when base is weak. It cannot be used when base is weak. Same way, the second indicator we are using, that is methyl orange. Methyl orange. Methyl orange has a pH range 3 to 4.4. So it can never be used when acid is weak. When base is weak, phenolphthalein cannot be used. When acid is weak, then methyl orange cannot be used. Hence, universal indicator are those which can be used at any point. Now, generally the calculation for volumetric titration will depend on two equations. Molarity equation M1V1 over X1, that is equal to M2V2 over X2, or normality equation N1V1, that is equal to N2V2. Next, we have to discuss about back titration. Back titration. There are certain titration in which the exact endpoint cannot be indicated. For them, to find out the exact value of titration, we have to add some more analyte, and then we have to find out the endpoint. Those titration are known as back titration. As in gelled method I have done by adding KOH in excess to neutralize the excess of acid. That is the example of back titration. And the next one, the very important for particularly JEE exam, and that is the double indicator titration. Double indicator titration. These are used for mixture of base of NaOH plus Na2CO3 versus HCl or H2SO4, or mixture of NaHCO3 plus Na2CO3 versus HCl or H2SO4. Two indicators are used, phenolphthalein and methyl orange. For phenolphthalein, weak base cannot be neutralized, so milli equivalent of acid will be equal to milli equivalent of NaOH plus milli equivalent of half of milli equivalent of sodium carbonate. And for methyl orange, the first case, for methyl orange indicator, milli equivalent of acid will be equal to milli equivalent of half of milli equivalent of sodium carbonate. There may be questions regarding that. Next, for mixture of sodium bicarbonate and sodium carbonate, for phenolphthalein indicator, milli equivalent of acid, that should be equal to half of milli equivalent of sodium carbonate. And for methyl orange, milli equivalent of acid, that will be equal to milli equivalent of sodium bicarbonate in sample plus milli equivalent of sodium carbonate or half of milli equivalent of sodium carbonate produced from sodium carbonate. There will be numericals on these two double titration, and the last topic for this chapter will be sponification value. Sponification value. As we know, soaps are produced by reacting NaOH or KOH with oil or fat. Here, the sponification value will be equal to weight of KOH in milligram over weight of acid in grams produced from oil. Then we can find out the sponification value. There might be numericals in objectives for this also. With this, some basic concepts of chemistry has been completely completed. Now you have to do the assignment and ask your problem. Till then, thank you.